yes. Yo, I rose from the womb of the poem. These words the first fruit of the zone. No question who the same who from the Jones. Withdrew to Rome, the inner laws within me. Found myself in Cologne, the journey ain't no mystery. Witness the magic, the marriage of flow physically. Walk the globe, plotting to overthrow white supremacy. Fast forward centuries, daughter of modern history. My wounds braided in the pain of antebellum misery. Separated the first slave from mother's memory.
If you ask any hip hopper to describe hip hop, they will tell you that it can't be described. It has to be felt, seen, and experienced. It is a movement that, well, moves you. That is why I decided to make a video project, so that way you may experience hip hop too. Hip hop originated in the South Bronx and throughout the Northeast during the early and mid 1970s. Hip hop is more than just music, but is a whole culture. There's a way of dress, language, aesthetic, and way of seeing and interpreting the world around you. As Derek P. Aldridge said in Hip Hop History, Past, Present, and Future, hip hop must be taken seriously as a cultural, political, economic, and intellectual phenomenon deserving of scholarly study similar to previous African American artistic and cultural movements, such as the blues, jazz, the new Negro Renaissance, and the civil rights, black power, and black arts movements. Hip hop has traveled well beyond where it started in the South Bronx in New York. It has moved throughout different states in the United States, as well as different countries all over the world. One important part of the community of hip hop is where it stands in the Orlando hip hop community here in Orlando, Florida. I decided to interview different members of the community to show how hip hop affects them and how they see hip hop as well.
Hey, what's up? I'm B-Boy Chris Cross, president of Elements of Hip Hop here at UCF. Come check us out. Hip hop, in my own words, hip hop, it's a culture. It's innovative. It has a past and it has a future. There's so much going on with hip hop right now. That's the future. But yeah, it was started in 1973. There was a DJ. His name was Kool Herc, and he was uplifting the spirits of his community in the Bronx by playing music and having parties. Everyone was going through a hard time during those years in New York. So he was sort of like the savior. He would bring music and people would dance and have fun. And that's sort of how it all started. I'm a breaker. That's what I do. That's what I primarily do. And I rap on the side. And I love doing it. It gives me a great sense of accomplishment to go up onto the stage, to go up onto the floor, and really express myself. I express how I feel. I just let out my emotions all onto the floor or onto the microphone. And it gives me a great sense of work. It really makes me feel like I've worked something. I feel as if I have value and I value myself. That's almost saying self-respect. It taught me self-respect. There's no better respect than self-respect. Hip hop here in Orlando, I would have to say constantly growing. There's so much talent, there's so many individuals, and there's so many educated young people today who are truly interested in the culture of hip hop, and they are taking it in the right direction. That's what we need right now, because there's so much people taking hip hop in the wrong direction. It's nice and it's refreshing to see young people trying to help the culture, trying to help evolve it, and trying to take it to the next level where we need to go in order to sustain ourselves for the future.
The preceding quotation from historian Robin D.G. Kelley captures the manner through which socially and politically conscious SPC hip-hop emerged from the social, economic, and political experiences of black youth from the mid to late 1970s. Hip-hop pioneers such as Kool Herc, Afrika Bambaataa, and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, among others, articulated the post-civil rights generation's ideas in response to poverty, drugs, police brutality, and other racial and class inequities of post-industrial U.S. society. In many ways, early hip-hoppers were not only the progenitors of a new form of black social critique, but they also represented the voice of a new generation that would carry on and expand upon the ideas and ideology of the civil rights generation. Through rhythm and poetry, rap, R.A.P., rhythm and poetry, hip-hop has endeavored to address racism, education, sexism, drug. Black art's literary critique, Addison Gale Jr., notes that black art has always been rooted in the anger felt by African Americans, and hip-hop culture has remained true to many of the convictions and aesthetic criteria that evolved out of the black arts movement of the 60s, including calls for social relevance, originality, and a focused dedication to produce art that challenges American mainstream artistic expression. Black arts and hip-hop, text created amid the anger that is easily perceived in major historical events, such as the LA Rebellion and the riots of the late 60s, reflect the rage the black community feels. Amiri Baraka's black art, for instance, illustrates the extent to which anger would dictate this poet's creative path. We want poems that kill, assassin poems, poems that shoot guns, poems that wrestle cops into alleys and take their weapons, leaving them dead, with tongues pulled out and sent to Ireland. Let there be no love poems written until love can exist freely and cleanly. Baraka establishes in this piece a link between social frustration and its influence upon literature. Hip-hop, which, according to the author Tricia Rose, grew out of the South Bronx section of New York in the late 1970s and early 80s, he stayed within this tradition by actively addressing the role of anger and violence. Hip-hop has four main elements. Those elements are the dance element, which includes breaking, popping, locking, housing, voguing, the works. And then there's the graffiti element, the DJ element, and the beatboxing element. Those main four elements is what unites hip-hop today, as well as how it was back in the day when it first started.
Oh yes. Yo, I rose from the womb of the poem. These words the first fruit of the zone. No question who the same crew from the Jones. Withdrew to Rome, the inner lords within me. Found myself in Cologne, the journey ain't no mystery. Witness the magic, the marriage of flow physically. Walk the globe, plotting to overthrow white supremacy. Fast forward centuries, daughter of modern history. My wounds braided in the pain of antebellum misery. Separated the first slave from mother's memory. Centuries